Today we've had our attention somewhat torn away from the current bushfire crisis. Some would say that's a relief. But this is thanks to three major but unrelated events in the Middle East. Firstly, and most alarmingly, some bold retaliation from Iran following the drone strike by the United States on their military commander, General Soleimani. Reports suggest that somewhere in the vicinity of between 13 and 20 ballistic missiles, probably closer to 15, were launched on 2 US bases in Iraq. There was no need to guess what this was about because the Iranians even launched the missiles at 1:20 a.m. local time, the very same time the United States drone killed the Iranian general. Then Iran suffered an earthquake near a nuclear plant, which registered a magnitude of 4.9 on the Richter scale. And then a Boeing 737 carrying 180 people, a Ukrainian Airlines plane, crashed near Tehran. Some astonishing coincidences. I wonder whether any of them are linked. As for the missile strikes, the President later tweeted, "All is well. Missiles launched from Iran at 2 military bases located in Iraq. Assessment of casualties and damage is taking place now. So far, so good. We have the most powerful and well-equipped military anywhere in the world by far. I will be making a statement tomorrow morning." At this stage, the pressure's building on Trump to release the intelligence the US used to validate the initial strike on Soleimani. Now, on that point, back in Australia, Prime Minister Scott Morrison, who was at Kangaroo Island today, was asked more than once about whether he supported the United States drone attack.
Prime Minister, it's not unsurprising, is it, that after the assassination of the Iranian commander, and President Trump's appeared to be very pleased with himself over that this missile attack would come as no surprise, would it?
Well, the United States have taken the actions that they have to address what has been intelligence that they say that they had received, which was putting their interests at risk and under threat, and they have been very clear about that.
The intelligence that they say they have, not quite as supportive as he could have been. And so the reporter asked again.
So you have total faith in President Trump's judgment on this?
The Australian government is working closely in partnership with all of our partners within the region. I discussed this matter with President Macron the other day, as we will with all of our partners. But my focus right now is on Australia's interests. My focus is on those Australians who are in Baghdad and in Taji presently, and they are getting all the authority that they need to ensure that their position is put in the best possible place.
Certainly no conviction about what Donald Trump did in the early stages. And I think before Australia makes any decision about walking into a possible war with the United States again, the Prime Minister might want to see a copy of that intelligence warning. But where this ends up and which allies of Iran opt to join Iran in war is of greater concern to the world, I would have thought, than what else Iran may have up its sleeve. The US has anti-missile technology to thwart any further ballistic missile attacks on bases anywhere in the Middle East. And you can be sure that all the infrared and laser-trained technology, all those eyes are on Iran's nuclear installations as I speak, right across that country. But back in June last year in the capital of Kyrgyzstan, thousands of metres up in the Central Asian mountains, close friends gathered to agree on future international plans. Now, this was a gathering of members of the Shanghai Cooperation Organisation, which is basically an infamous group formed for political and security purposes. The attendees included Russian President Vladimir Putin, Chinese leader Xi Jinping, and Iranian President Hussein Rouhani. Now, you could say these three hang out together. They certainly share very similar philosophies about the world, and they have a pact within the Shanghai Cooperation Organisation to assist each other militarily. Now, this is the real threat to the Western world. Will China, backed by Russia, step up to the plate for Iran if it's required and if they ask? A lot of ifs contained in that statement, but that's the door to any likelihood of war, I would have thought. Let's just hope cooler heads prevail, because this is a rogue nation, part of George W. Bush's axis of evil, a nation with nuclear warheads and one with close friends in very powerful places.